Good morning, students. Today I am going to talk about the literary poetic form called ode. If you know something about the ode, I may tell you that the first writer of odes in world literature was a Greek poet, ancient Greek poet, Pindarus. And Pindarus was the first person who, in a way, invented the ode. An ode used to be in the hands of Pindar or Pindarus, a long narrative poem addressed to some god or goddess or some power of nature, and it was always solemn in tone and very sublime in language. Pindarus divided his ode into three parts: strophe, antistrophe, and epode. And it used to be performed on a stage by some singers, minstrels as they were called. Those singers who were supposed to perform an ode, Pindaric ode in a way, when they used to move while singing towards the right hand, it was called strophe, and when they used to move towards the left hand on the stage, it was called antistrophe. And finally, when they used to stand still, almost motionless, in the middle of the stage, it was called epode. So it was in this way that odes, Pindaric odes, were written in praise of, addressing some god like Dionysius, like Apollo, like Zeus, some goddess like Aphrodite, like Venus, and some power of nature. So it used to be a very long narrative, solemn in tone, such type of poem in the hands of Pindar. Now what happened that the odes of Pindar, they became very popular, and not only Pindarus but so many other poets, they also wrote odes during the ancient Greek times. Now when the Romans came, there was a poet during the regime of the Roman Empire. His name was Horatio. He also wrote odes, but he made certain changes in the form of the ode. He did away with the three parts of the ode as used by Pindarus: strophe, antistrophe, and epode. But the other things, they were similar. His odes, Horatian odes as they were called, they were very solemn in tone, high in language, and addressed to some god or goddess or some power of nature or some very emotional oversoul, something like that. So Horatian odes are also called regular odes in the sense that they were stanzas of the similar length, similar size, and the three parts, strophe, antistrophe, and epode, they were gone, they were done away with. Now these odes became very popular. In English literature, we have got a history of basically Horatian odes. English poets and writers, they wrote odes right from Milton to Gray to the Romantics, and even in the 20th century, there are so many writers who have written odes, but most of the odes written in English literature are basically regular odes in the line and tradition of Horatio, the Roman poet. There is only one example, which, to the best of my knowledge, of Pindaric ode in English literature, which was written by Thomas Gray, The Progress of Poesy. That is a Pindaric ode which has got a strophe, antistrophe, and epode. Now, during the Romantic age, all these writers, right from Coleridge to Wordsworth to Keats to Byron to Shelley, all of them attempted at writing odes. Keats is known as the poet of odes. He is a great writer of odes, and he wrote not one but so many odes in his short span of life. So odes became very popular and favorite form of poetry with these Romantic poets, and all of them followed the poetic form of regular ode, the Horatian ode, which has got similar stanzas throughout. If one stanza is of 8 lines or 9 lines or 10 lines, another stanza would also be of the similar length and the similar line number. Wordsworth also wrote one ode which is called irregular ode, and that is the immortality ode, on intimations of immortality from early childhood. Now that particular ode is called an irregular ode in the sense that if one stanza is of 8 lines, another may be of 6 lines, or maybe of 3 lines or 4 lines. So there is no regularity of the size of stanzas, and therefore it is called irregular ode. The immortality ode of Wordsworth is an irregular ode. So this has been the history of odes in English literature. And Keats, he mastered the art of the craft and art of writing odes. And his odes are perfect odes in the sense that they are all solemn in tone, they are very sober, they are addressed to some god or goddess or power of nature, and therefore it is said that ode is always written to and not on. Though in certain cases, especially when we read the odes of Keats, we have got another preposition used in the title itself. For example, ode on a Grecian urn. Otherwise, odes are always written to. We have got ode to a nightingale, we have got ode to the west wind, we have got ode to autumn, ode to Psyche, ode to indolence. So usually it is the preposition to which is used for the odes, because there is always an address in the ode. For example, oh, while the west wind, the breath of autumn's vein. He addresses the west wind, which is a power of nature. Right? Ode to Duty of Wordsworth. So all these writers, they wrote so many odes, and odes became very popular and favorite form of poetry during the Romantic period. This is a brief history of ode for the students of BA second year and BA first year. Thank you.